Welcome to the Hopium Den. Let's get high. We're picking up where we left off in our campaign and seeing what Ordana and his crew can do this morning. I was thinking a little bit about last night. I know I jumped into random characters, but if I were running this for the first time, I might want a little advice character-wise. So, real quick, my advice would be don't pick Germinate until you have a little familiarity with the game. And that's just because there's so much going on with Germinate between the two forms having to manage, between the lack of movement, because a lot of the bottom halves of Germinate cards are other effects, and then even in range form, you need to be at specific ranges, so those movements are more important. Like, has to be at range 3 or 4 or 5. I showed that a little yesterday at the end when I was trying to get off that triangle attack or the straight line attack, and I wasn't quite in the right ranges. Um, and then the last piece is really Germinate doesn't fully excel damage or tanking or support wise until you have elements out. So you're trying to manage your form, your ranges, what cards you still have in hand, and elements. And that's a lot for someone who would be beginning. So I would say, in terms of my party comp, I pretty much have a tank in Banner Spear with some support, a tank that does damage in Drifter, and then I have like a ranged kind of flexible off tank. So I have a pretty universal comp. I got pretty lucky with these three. If you were starting the game from scratch, I would probably lean towards Deathwalker as the range unit, because pretty much with the shadow gimmicks, it's simpler. You get a shadow out, that shadow allows you to attack at range from where the shadow is, or that shadow allows you to heal someone standing on it. So still kind of a range damage dealer, but a little simpler mechanic. I think Drifter's very doable, and probably the best pure tank off the start. And then I think Banner is doable as long as you have a couple people in your comp, because a lot of those need your ally at this position. Easier to manage if you have more people. The other ones, Bone Shaper does lots of summons and is kind of a really good tank just because they make a wall of basically skeleton summons. The only thing that you really have to manage is Bone Shaper takes damage to summon their things, and so you got to manage your own health really closely. Because like if you get hit by one enemy that goes faster than you, it can get dicey in a hurry. But Bone Shaper is probably one of the best, if not the best, support units off the start in terms of like blessing and strengthening your team. We haven't seen that yet, but Bless is basically a free ×2 on your damage that gets added to your attack deck for what you flip when you attack, and Strengthen allows you to flip 2 modifiers at a time, kind of like the guards did to me last time. And then the last one's Blink Blade. Blink Blade isn't too hard as long as you kind of understand initiatives fast or slow. You need to clarify that. You then get a time token, and pretty much Blink Blade has more potential early on to do better secondary effects or damage when going fast. So you kind of do like how I play Blink Blade, because they're who I'm running in tabletop right now. As long as I have time for a setup turn, I typically go slow turn 1, and then you have a couple time tokens once things move up to you to do like fast. And that seems to be kind of the best tempo I have with Blink Blade so far. But pretty simple play style, like move and whack stuff and does big single target damage. Only thing that Blink Blade really struggles with is high shield or retaliate, right? Because it's a lot of times a bunch of little attacks. Alright, so here's our quest. Algox scouting. So this is where we can go scout what was happening with the mountain. Or we just say, we're going to go fight whatever's going on. And then we completed the town in flames. So it probably would be smarter to scout, but we're just going to full send it. There was nothing we could do in town. I know upgrades and construction are available, but I didn't loot enough, so that's my own fault.
You are feeling a tad hungry as you walk down the road. You're considering stopping for a meal when you come across a thicket of bushes covered in thorns and red tin berries. The berries look delicious, but you know red tin berries are wildly poisonous.
Um. Ooh, interesting. Add it to one of your existing potions. So we could potentially... I mean, that probably harms ourselves more, right? But it might add an interesting effect. But my potion's on Drifter, so I don't really want Drifter poisoned. But I think long term, I want to see how this affects the potion if I get a really cool potion. So if I were just focused solely on this mission, I would pick Berry Juice to my weapon. Let's just go kill something. Which is still probably the right choice, by the way. I know I'm making a bad decision, but I'm always curious, you know, like, long term, what kind of benefit do you get? We probably just made that toxic.
You pluck off a single berry and add it to a potion you're carrying. The fruit dissolves into the liquid with a pitiful sputter, and the whole concoction turns a rancid brown. A whiff of the results makes you want to retch, but maybe that's useful in its own right.
Alright, Poison Vial. So, let's see. I think the Poison Vial, given people's initiatives, is probably the most effective on Banner Spear, just initiative-wise, goes pretty early. So I could potentially get Poison off before then Drifter or Germinate goes. And that would, excuse me, then scale the other two. Alright, perk time. We need to do better with perks. I gotta get my modifier dex better. Yeah, I can't do that. Moving every turn is tough. Alright, we can do Opener. An ability targeting an ally. So heals would count because it's just a target. Ooh. I don't remember how many monsters there are in this one. I mean, we only short rested last time and did 5. So I would need to double burn the first rest cycle. Wish that was for Germinate. That's so easy with Germinate. This is pretty much a free 1. And this gets a pretty sketchy 2. We can do it. We can do it. We might just lose
You'll be tired
early.
from the raid, so this is your moment.
Sapper had explained, pointing you toward the foothills of the Copperneck Mountains, where her scout tracked the Algox attackers.
I doubt you'll be able to fight them all on your own, but maybe you can find another way to subdue them if you get close. On the other hand, they'll be worn out after this little battle, so feel free to test your luck. Just remember, even a tired Algox is strong enough to rip someone in 2.
After hours of tracking, you find yourself before a cave. The defenders look like the Algox.
Didn't mean to click there, sorry.
Huge, brutish things with fur-covered muscle and vicious strength. They're throwing punches that could flatten a longhouse. You've seen it happen, but you can tell their strength is flagging against their assailants. The attackers, on the other hand, wear leather robes and move their clawed hands in intricate patterns. Covered in the same white fur as the defenders, they stand their ground outside the cave, guarded by wild beasts as they hurl magical storms of snow. You creep in close, and the battle begins to shift. A flank has thinned out on one side, and you can see a path into the cave ahead. It won't be easy to break through the fighting, but if you want to see what the defenders are guarding without getting your hands dirty, this is the best chance you're going to get.
Okay. So first things first, I gotta change that audio a little bit. I adjusted the settings, but that was a little low if I'm gonna let them read, at least in my opinion. So I'm gonna turn it up a touch. Pretty much the first one, and I'm paraphrasing obviously, that I accidentally clicked through was just saying that, like, there's 2 factions of the Algox. The defenders are like big brutes punching things with their fists. And then the second team, you know, we're back for that. And that's like these guys who are dancing and kind of working more ice with their hands and have the animals, they called it, as allies. Keep an eye out during the loading screens. Like, these are typically pretty helpful little pieces of advice in terms of like negative effects and what they do, or icy terrain. Icy terrain will get lots of exposure to in later missions, and it is pretty convenient actually. Alright, first things first, we talked about audio. let's get the... What do we think? Probably the story volume. We'll just try 70 and see how that is. Okay. And what are we looking at here? Must escape without being exhausted. Well, Banner Spears just got a lot more dicey. Alright. So pretty much it looks like with the two... There's kind of two factions, right? We've got our yellow health guys, and then we've got the red health. And they are enemies of each other. And so if we go slow, they should start to fight each other, is my thought. And looking at the top, that is the case. We've got 1s and then 2s. So this is guards and archers. And we know how dangerous archers are. And then this is priests and hounds. Pretty cool. Alright, so we want to kind of set up here and go late. My best play for that, I kind of want to get off an element card early, because that's going to allow me to do more damage, or I just put this persistent out to try and kind of nuke things in this first room. I could technically do both, but that's pretty sketchy turn 1. I'm kind of starting with Germinate just because I'm more familiar with the stuff, with their unique stuff. I think Horn Beetle's okay to get out. And then we're just going to take this because I need to change to range then to capitalize on it. And I want to go at a late initiative. So we're going to go at 72 and basically just move to flip forms and get out that. Alright. Drifter. So would love to go late. This one, I don't know that we need the huge movements. I do think we're going to need the big attack. I'm tempted this time to go more attack and heal. Just to show off a different persistent. And we'll go late again. And then Banner Spear. So a persistent shield isn't bad. And all we lose is a range. But honestly, I'm probably going to have a chance to do big damage with that unbreakable wall. The Banner of Strength is pretty good to kind of fight through this first room. So let's show off an actual banner here. And then, so that's a bottom, so we need a top. Ooh, I'm not going to have a great top without moving. Something might move in range 3. So this is really good if we go early and let things move, and then we could, like, you know, do, we don't have a bottom shield other than this. But I don't want to give it up because that move 4 is pretty nice, and early move 4 is clutch. So I think we just Javelin here to get an element out. Does that change this one? Do I care more about the elements than the damage? I think maybe it does. Maybe it does. And the reason is because I know priests are going to make ice, and like I can do more for my team as well if I have elements out in terms of like healing with a regen and doing more damage with Firefly. Yeah, I'll get the element for now. That would give me Fire and Sun, which is a little bit better for more of like a support role. The ice stuff is kind of our damage. But let's focus elements here and see if we like it. So now if this is a bottom and changes me forms, then I would have a top. And top without moving. 2, 3. Probably not going to hit anything. But maybe we can. But I got to do this at 40 if I'm not wasting draining pincers. No, I'm sticking with this play just because it's more flexible. I do like the element control, but I'm sticking with it. 18 minutes in, and I'm picking my first turn. Alright, so hounds are moving and attacking. Archers are creating traps. No, 5's a little fast. Let's keep it at 3 just so we can see what's going on. Alright, push kind of goes hard now. Man, the archers are just murking these hounds turn 1. Okay, healed 1. Oh, why you gotta get up in my face like that? I could have done the other play. He moved in melee range. But you don't really expect priests to say, hey, I'm gonna walk in your face. Alright, attack, retaliate. So that's the retaliate effect. When they're melee attacking the hounds, they're taking retaliate damage. Alright, so we can javelin. We gotta do 2 burns before our first rest. So this counts as, well, 1 once we discard it. Because it's not just burns, they need to be in our lost pile. So let's get out our banner. Then that should add attack here. Okay, nice -2 modifier. Nice, 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 just like we drew it up. Drifter, we get up the double still. Alright, Germinate, let's plan our turn here. So we do have an attack with a pull and an attack with a push. Kinda like the pull on an elite archer, but I would need to be in range 3, which puts me right here and is real sketchy. We did get a trap behind there. Like, these 3 are perfectly lined up. So I could hit all 3 of those, or I could hit a couple of these guys. I don't think I want to get over here, because I'm pretty much solo at that point. So I'm going to stay on this side. That puts me 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so at least I can hit both of these. Actually, I might hit both of these. But I still think this is the movement. So, not only am I planning what I'm doing now, but I'm planning what I'm trying to do next turn, which is the attack has to be at range 3 or 4, so I need to set that up. I'm choosing to attack these 2, because if I get a double kill, then I'm just facing a priest, which isn't as scary. I can go late again to let them attack each other one more turn. Let's see here. Alright. So we could move up late and try and just murder everything within range 2. So if we took another move, we could get up and like do a big AoE and muddle everything for the following turn. That's a great defensive play. We could Firefly Swarm, but that's a burn, and I'm only hitting 2. But at least it's late initiative. Or I was thinking this in my head, because I could probably target 2 and maybe push something into a trap. The bottom pull is this one, but it's only at range 3 or 4. But that would be an early turn. And I kind of want to go late, because like, even if these turn around and attack me, if I'm late, then archers are hitting priest or whatever's alive versus me. So I actually am going to change here, and I'm going to pick my AoE along with a big movement. So if I Firefly and this changes me forms, and Hail of Thorns as late as I can, that gives me big movement, big AoE in some combination. Drifter, you're far enough away, I think we can probably just go. Oh, hang on, Germinate's got to be my first one to get a kill, right? Oh, we already lost that because they killed each other. Oh, here we are. So these are the masteries. Switch forms each round. So I'm still on track for that one. 3 enemies with each of the 3. Oh, interesting. So the whole thing. Holy cow. So I got to keep moving the banner the whole time? We might be able to get that. Actually, probably not, because I'm going to have to discard. And Drifter, we're still on track for that. This I can't get with the Daredevil, because I'm probably going to have to discard the banner. I really have to, like, summon the reinforcement. It's pretty much the only other way, other than doing Unbreakable Wall and just discarding it before my first rest. Boo. Alright. That's a tough one with Banner. That's really going to limit my stamina, which completely fights what I'm trying to do with this mission. Alright, this is pretty good because it gives me Pierce, but I don't think I have a way... Actually, the Unbreakable Wall, so it'd be an attack 3, Pierce 2. I'm only hitting one guy, but pretty solid. I'll go early, just... Yeah, that's fine. And then Drifter. Let's see. No, we're not doing our big burn. Getting a poison on something out there is not bad. But I think bloodletting, and then maybe doing one of my movements. Okay, we'll do that late just to see what happens. Alright, run it. There's kind of so many enemies, it's hard to like memorize every single thing, but the big threats are... The priests are cursing, which kind of stinks for our deck long term, but they're also cursing each other, so the guard's deck's getting worse. Yeah, we'll take disadvantage, that's fine. And of course they roll great into it. We're going to save our heater shield, I don't care about 2. Alright, he did move away, so that changes our game plan here. Because now we can't wall. Going at 9 is a pretty early initiative, a little quicker than I expected. We have the wind out, so I'm going to move up. Let's see, if I move up too far, we're going to take archers. Or... Man, that archer's going to target the banner anyway. Unless it dies. And the hounds still have to go. So, I just am going to play it out. We consume the wind. And, let's see. We'll get the poison on for the sole fact that if Drifter can get the kill, then we get to move an ability back. Which is pretty clutch to keep those persistence out. Oh no, 1 damage. Come on, kill that archer. Nice, that's big. That gives these guys a focus. That's not me. So they can move through allies, so if he had enough movement, he would have moved up. Alright, these guys are scary now because they're strengthened. So, we're going to do this. Part of me's tempted to, like, stay back and stay out of range, but at some point I've got to get someone up to kill the archers. And with his big attack, it's probably either him or Germinate. So, let's see, I'll move up to here. Oh, no, I messed that up, because this is only 1. Alright, I gotta pay more attention to that. Ooh, I was trying to reset. But that's alright. Alright, we keep our attack damage up. And Germinate. Let's see what we're doing now. So we could do a move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd hit everything in range 2, which isn't great. Or we could get in position with a move 3, and we could hit 2 guys, which actually hitting both of these strengthened guys sounds pretty good. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. Okay, yep, no elements, I'm aware. We skipped that part of it. So we can only hit him, or we hit both of these. It's gotta be both of these. Because if we could kill something that's strengthened, that makes it a lot safer next turn. So the only thing we did by being real aggressive is we put ourselves in kind of a sketchy position that we're taking everything rather than holding up in the corner. Alright, let's see. What's my best move here? I mean, they're gonna attack me, so I think I just get off as much damage as I can. I like this Mind Spike Scared Fight play because I can get damage on one of these guys with a pull into the trap, and I can get a push into the trap. So I'm really using the push-pull there. Let's go early. At worst, you can heal yourself with that bottom. So we get a heal. Oh, the heal's going to be a heal 4. I actually probably don't want to heal this turn. These are both heals. Interesting. Alright, so we'll take it. And then an attack 3 loot, so that's potentially a kill. Or we keep our damage up, which is probably more valuable than the loot. But at some point I got a loot, and there are 2, so I'm going to risk that. Banner, what you got? I kind of want to go, theoretically, dead, if I roll it right. So Priest over here is still a threat, or I go late and try and get something going with those archers. So let's do this to kind of see if we can set up, and then we'll take tip of the spear, because maybe I can get something behind me and do big damage through the archers, and we want to go late. Alright, starting to get a little simpler. So priests are doing some decent damage, archers are doing huge damage but not moving, so I could move backwards out of their ranges. Nice, and Banner's going after them. 4 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he would get hit. That's an elite, which was range 5. Also getting hit. I don't love that. Kind of taking some unnecessary damage. Yep. He's double loot. We need that for the town. Okay, lumber, solid. Then we got the heal. We'll take the heal on ourselves. Where do I move? I don't want Germinate to take all 3. If I move here... I'm just taking the 2 I plan on. I'm pulling through. So I'm actually going to move... If I just greedily move to this, that might set up something a little easier next turn with Banner. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that, because I don't need the heal 4 yet, and I have the move 2, heal 2 as my next bottom. 2 hides, let's go. Alright. Here's kind of our big damage turn. So we hit this guy. The pull just has to be closer, so I should be able to pull. Oh, okay. My bad, my bad. That is not my pull card. That's 100% on me. I still stand by it. Damage on the archer's good. I just thought I would pull him through that trap, but it's fine. Okay, then we push you into the trap, and dead. We're back to melee form. Archers, we're gonna need that heal. Holy cow, 6. I think that's probably worth a burn since I'm taking 1 more. But maybe they'll roll into a miss or a bad flip. The thing is, I know I have at least a heal 4. But I'm taking one more hit. So I don't really want to lose 6. If it was worse, we take the 3, we can heal that off. Alright, so it was 4 at range 5. So by moving up, I did take them off. That's my own bad for reading wrong. So I could move up and get a wound on the priest because I have an ally next to me, which is actually pretty good. Then I only have archers to focus. So I think that's probably worth it. The only thing is I'm leaving the banner. But I wasn't going to keep the banner the whole time anyway if I'm going after this 2-perker, and I really need the 2 perks. Okay, this should work. Yep. If not, I was going to rotate it, but we're good here. The damage is nice, but the wound is more important, especially with him having a shield. I don't like this party comp. Alright, so we're in melee. Terminate's pretty healthy. Can't really hit 2 guys with that shape. I could jump and disarm 2, but that's a pretty aggressive play. Or I just probably kill something with channeling. So I'm going to Hornet Stingers bottom, and then channeling top, and I want to go early, because I'm focus of everything, so let's see if we can kill something. Banner Spear. Okay, giving movement solid. That might change things a little bit. I don't think I can pull off a pincer without another push-pull. But the movement's kind of nice. If I gave Drifter that movement... No, because I need to do the heal anyway. Drifter's turn has to be this, probably. And I'm gonna have to get this reinforcement out if I'm going to complete my mission. So... that would be a bottom, so I'd only have a top. Okay. So Drifter's got to move 2. Well, we can't do double bottoms, so... I'm going to go late and get a big heal and regen on Drifter. I don't love playing this turn defensively, but in order to get my 2 perk, I kind of have to. He is healing, which is a little annoying. Germinate 6, Drifter's 2, but Drifter's going to get a big heal before Archers go, so I actually kind of want to keep them tanking. Actually, man, this is tough. The only reason I kind of want to flip this is because 2 attacks into the shield is an attack 1 and an attack 1, versus here it's attack 2, attack 2. Actually has a chance of killing. I mean, I could give the extra movement to Drifter, but this way Germinate takes 2, probably has to burn something, which I don't love. Drifter, I guess we already did burn. So, Germinate's turn to tank. Let's just see how this goes. Come on, come on. Another 0. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Germinate can't take 3. We'll get our heal off because I need it. Alright. We don't want the 3 damage, so I need to just move up 1. Ooh, this turn did not go well. But the heal 4 is nice, and then at least we reset our probably damage. Keep that where it is. Okay, banner. What do we got? Let's get the reinforcement out. Heal and regen is kind of pointless. So, because I can't reach him anymore, because I moved out of range. Botched that one, eh? Not enough coffee yet. I don't love that, but that's what I need to do for Banner to get this achievement. So at least that one was at disadvantage. That one was at... Because all the attacks were at disadvantage, I got so lucky. The RNG gods were in my favor. So this at least hits 2, but it's not much damage, but they're muddled again. But I really need to change forms, and that doesn't change me forms, and none of these bottoms do. So the only way I could change forms would be to do this top. I could wound everything, but I don't really want to do a burn. So I pretty much have to just do this play to change forms. Drifter. We do damage early, Banner Spear. Banner Spear, we confirm a discard here. We confirm a discard here. That should get 2 cards in the lost pile before the first rest. Alright, Priest attacking, Archers attacking. Right, that's a bug. We should already have Daredevil. Unless the one guy isn't fully a burn. What was it, Alt to see all my cards? Oh, it's not a burn. He's just a persistent. Well, shoot. There is no way I could do that with the current cards here, other than getting this out and discarding it. Alright, that's good to know that that summon's not a burn, but also not ideal. Alright, so we're set up for a nice pincer movement. Or pincer attack. We've got Germinate on that side. This is a big attack. And we kill. I'm gonna slow down and loot here, because I need some loot for Frosthaven's sake. Nice Germinate. Way to do something. Then we're going to... They are moving, so the Shield Retaliate really doesn't go crazy. So let's just move and grab a loot. Is this block Drifter? Drifter has a move 4. Nice, Ordonna's getting rich. Alright, now we're range form. Drifter does have a move 4, but I want to use the move 2 because I'm a dummy. And I don't want to go through that trap, so now we got to do the other way. I kind of want to go here and just see if we can pin these guys in, or at least get them back towards the other loot. Seems pretty nice. It's an attack 4. Maybe we'll hit a +1 and kill off the start. Let's go. If I have a chance to kill something, I always try and take it, because the more you kill, the less damage you take. Germinate's fine. We're about at the long rest phase. Okay, this is my pull. That would have been nice. So I could move back 2, 3, 4, and I think it's a pull 3. Pull 2. So he doesn't get the trap there. If I move 1, 2, 3, I could pull him through that trap. So I do have the move pull if I need it. I move here with Germinate. 3. This would be 1, 2. This would be 1, 2, 3. So that's not technically closer, so I can't pull that way. We're just gonna... I was gonna say long rest in your face, but we need to short rest for that perk. And because we did burn early, we'll slow play that. I don't really want to get... Oh, I was gonna say I don't want to get rid of Vile Assault. I thought the red, my brain said damage. So I clicked that thinking I would take 1 damage and get to redraw, but that was not how that worked. Let's see here. I don't mind if you go after Germinate just as a backup attack. Because Germinate's doing an attack and pull through the trap. Is there a loot bag? You're on a loot. So let's maybe do the attack loot combo. Where is that? Right here. So I want this card for sure, but I don't necessarily want to go at 70. And we'll do this just so we can go at 32. Alright, goal is to kill this archer before it gets to go. Germany. Buddy, so we decided that we have to go here. If we go here, I can't pull through the trap, and I want that trap damage. Attack 3, attack 1, which is a 3. Probably not enough. I need this trap damage. Never mind. I don't need this trap damage. Still gonna pull it through the trap because I can probably get off the big loot there. Alright, we're gonna slow play a turn of looting here. So let's move you to here. And then we are going to skip the attack, but we should still get the loot. Yep. Because there's a hard line, you get the 2 options separate. That's still a really good turn there. We get a heal off, and we're gonna get rid of... I mean, we just saw how valuable the pincer was, and this has a move loot. Honestly, this card's not great because it's a big heal, but I take the damage, and I'd rather almost just keep... This is what I meant to choose with Drifter. Alright, so couple loot turns. We long rest here. Drifter. A heal 4 is pretty nice. We got rid of our move 2, heal 2, which is the other reason I didn't want to get rid of that. We don't have another loot, so let's at least move and regain something, and then regain something there. That's a worthwhile turn. And Banner Spear, we gotta go backwards. We need to move 2 with loot, or a move 3. We have a couple move 4s. I don't want to give up both move 4s. I'm bummed, man. I thought we were going to get Banner's 2 perker. We were close. Alright. Let's move you 2 and set up for the door. And then we keep Crushing Weight active. And then we get both of these back full. Banner. What the heck did I pick, man? I didn't even pick a single move 4. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright. I am going to restart this round. I'm not going to cheese it, but that was the whole point of the round, was to go loot. Like I said, I'm not going to cheese it last video, too. We're now 2 for 2 redoing a turn. But to be fair, last video I really needed that jump, and it was more of just me not understanding the mechanic, but having the capability. This one's actually just human error. This one's 100% my bad. But I'm not, like, picking new cards based on enemy initiative. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just making a more effective turn from the exact same things I did. You need to move 4. And then we just picked Sure. I think we picked Pincer and something else. I still want this move 4 because it'll help people get up there. So I'll just get rid of Unbreakable Wall for now. I think B is to skip action, but I'm a little nervous to start trying hotkeys. Alright, lumber and loot, that's really good. We set up for the door. I wish Germinate had a loot, because I'm just going to be able to hit this and then get out of here. I mean, I probably have time to get down here with Drifter, but that's alright. And then sustained momentum wasn't what I wanted, but that's alright. I already redid the turn once. It's my own fault, so not redoing it a second time. Germinate, we got our long rest, and they need to be strategic here. So we got 1 and 1. We have burned... We burned 1 melee, 1 range, so we started 7-7. We're down to 6-6. So no matter what, I'm at an odd number somewhere. If you can, you always choose to stay at double evens because you get an extra turn of stamina. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, I want to be at 6 range cards, 4 melee cards. That way I have an extra turn. You never want to be double odd, because if you have 3 range cards, that's only 1 actual turn in range, and then 1 dead card, and you don't want 5 melee cards, because that's only 2 turns there and a dead card. Versus if you stay evens, you gain 2 full extra rounds before you need to rest. That was one of my big takeaways playing this. I have my melee damage out, so I want to keep my big melees. I need to keep my things that change me form. Probably gonna get rid of this. I mean, Drag Down and Hornet, I found that I only ever play one or the other to change forms. But it is a move with an XP. I'm probably not getting Channeling out at this turn. I don't have any way to generate elements, so Pincer's not great. Other than the bottom move 3, so I'm going to get rid of Channeling. I want to keep more of my range cards. That's kind of more this Germinate's role is range damage. Alright, we got a little heal. Let's at least go loot once with Germinate. I can change forms here. I don't mind being 2, 4, 6. I don't mind starting melee, because if I start melee and move, then I can flip to range. I think just these 2 are fine, because I'm just moving 1. Drifter. I could go pop that door, but I wish I had the heal. So I'm going to heal myself first with Unbreakable, like I meant to do last turn. And then we need to do our move 4 and waste a top. Alright, dead turns. Dead turns all around. We take the triple loot, we skip the attack. Okay, we actually got a miscellaneous item there. Love that. Heal 4. And then we regain both of these. And then banner. Get going, girlfriend. Alright, now we're at a point that we can pop that door. I know, looting's not very exciting. Why is it letting me change my form? Gonna count that as a rest if I do that? You're not supposed to just be able to change form willy-nilly. Alright, I don't love going in with just 2 cards, but this guy I got a short rest anyway, So let's just open this door and see what we're in for. Banner. We're going to go late with a heal on Drifter in case he gets into some stuff. And Germinate. I'll go late with a poison and see what we get into. 1, 2, 3. Probably won't be able to hit anything. Drag down does give me a little bit more range. So I don't actually hate drag down here. At least I can probably hit something with drag down.
You duck and weave, winding your way through the battle, dodging arcane blasts and enormous Algox fists. But you manage to sneak through without losing your head. Unfortunately, there are many more Algox standing in your way.
I mean, Drifter's full health. What are they doing? So archers aren't moving, but hitting at range 5. So I'm kind of tempted to just back up. So that negates archers for a turn, but then I have a long ways to get back into range of fighting the archers. Versus if I stay here, I'm taking attack 4, 4. Yeah, I gotta back up. I don't love playing defensively against archers, but kind of my only play. You know, I don't like wasting the bloodletting, but they were my last 2 cards. Anyway, we get out with no archer damage. Can't pull the pincer off. I could get the regen on someone. I just do a basic move to basic attack. Yep, this is a good guy to poison. Oh, and the ×2. Let's go. So Banner does have jump, so I could jump up in there. We're flipping to range form, which we absolutely need to. Another ×2. All right, we're getting too lucky. I don't like this. The game always balances. If we're getting this lucky now, it's going to get dicey here. We're going to start flipping all our misses. Alright, so I'd love to have something hit both guys back there. I'm going to need that move 3 that doesn't change me forms. And I want this because it doesn't change me forms. And I can probably hit both. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a great turn there, but I want to do it early. And so, short rest and germinate. Nice, you're going just before, which is what I need to see if we can kill this guy, and the combined effort, we're in range. Okay. Alright, what did we burn? I don't want to lose that, because that's a really nice burn bottom. Yep, lose Unbreakable, that's fine. And then, let's see, if we're doing damage on those 2, I want to bring a big movement, 2, 3, 4, but I don't have any move 5s. This would be probably a guaranteed kill on something, but it's a pretty aggressive kill. I can probably do like a move 3 and poison something for then Germinate to maybe get the kill. Then Germinate's only taken 1 archer shot. Yeah, their initiatives kind of messed that up, but that's fine. Alright, shield and retaliate isn't ideal, but this is still a great play with the wound. Let's hope we kill. We do, so we don't take the retaliate. Yeah, I'll move up 1 and get this loot. Okay, we're gonna do the 3 here. 2, 3. Move 4. Maybe we could hit them both in muddle. There's 4. Nope. That's a 2 and that's a 3 range. So we stick with this play. Let's get a poison off. Yep, closer guy. Actually, closer guy I can probably guaranteed attack next turn. I don't know that I'm going to get another attack on the back one easily. So let's get the poison on the back guy. And Germinate. need to go here, so they're both at range 3. That's where Germinate's tough, man. Not always where you want to go, but pretty picky. Okay, hitting both. We have the poison. Let's hope for a good flip. Alright, we hit that curse, but that's alright. And I think Germinate's 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're splitting focus, which is pretty good. But they are 3, so hopefully we don't take too much here. Yeah, leather armor sounds good. Hit me at disadvantage. Yeah, one attack to give me an element. We're still going to be in range form. Let's see what cards we got. Oh, it's not letting me pull them up right now. Boo. I know in range, this gives me a heal with a regen for an ally, which would be pretty nice on Drifter, so I'm just going to take fire. Might not be the right call, but I can't see all the cards. I'm pretty sure I still have that one. This is what I was thinking. Because if I got that top off, I could still do damage here. Then Drifter... we go early and try and kill something. I want to do this bottom, but I don't want to go late. So I'm going to do this. And then Banner. 2, 3, 4. Banner, we got to slow down a touch, so we're going to long rest. An attack with Immobilize. Don't love it, don't hate it. At least it's a weaker attack. Probably not going to get this kill unless I get really lucky. No, +2 is solid. We keep crushing weight. More damage is more damage. Alright, let's see about this. And then we get the heal with the fire regen here. So that did not proc Drifter's heal. Or else it would have been a heal 5. And I think, based on the board game, it should have been a heal 5. But I'll just kind of let that one be. I don't know for sure if that's a bug or not. Alright, long rest. Let's see. Pincer is pretty darn hard to set up, but I'm only keeping it for the loot. Regroup, we probably don't need the big heal in this last room. We'll see, we might regret that. Alright, so we're stuck in that form. We did waste 2 here. That's okay, we're gonna long rest, get our heal and our other card back. I don't want Drifter to go in fully solo. But let's do this. Move 2, move someone else 2. Because this at least keeps Germinate moving up. And then Javelin. We can go at 32. And then Drifter. Oh, then not Javelin, because we're not going to get an attack off no matter what. Let's get rid of Pincer. There's no way we're going to pull this off right now. Actually, let's get rid of Unbreakable. Do I open the door, or do I slow play 1 turn? This is probably a really good turn just to move, loot. Everyone's up there for next turn going in. The biggest, well, not the biggest difference, but one difference I've really felt between Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, doors are so much more punishing to open. You really, as an individual or a team, need to be planning ahead on what you're going to do when you proc the door and who still has movement or an attack. Because it gets dicier, for sure. So the regen is a heal 3. Actually don't love that. And the reason I don't love that is because now I'm back to full and it's going to keep proccing every turn. So we could go all in. I think I wait and I just go all in next turn. We're going to skip the movement. but we'll get crushing weights full, so let's get continuous health back. And then we skip the attack, but we get the loot off. And we get our heal. Alright, so now we still have 6 range, I believe. And we have an odd number of melee. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to get rid of a melee. And it's got to be this. Alright. Do we want to start melee, go hit something, change to range AoE, or do we want to just go in range form? I think there's a lot of value of just going in range, hitting something. One, two, three. Because it's the rest, I can pick. So I'm going to do Scarab Bite and Hail of Thorns, not because it's my biggest damage, but neither of these flip me forms. So then I stay in range, can get a second range attack off, and then go to melee. So I'm okay opening the door with Germinate. We need to short rest here. And Banner, if we open the door, Banner might have the ability to get off like a tip of the spear. I can't go just behind 30. I would have need combined effort, so that's a little crappy. What's my next best play? Probably a Javelin this turn into big damage next turn. I mean, maybe I open the door here and just see what we hit. I think that's the play. Alright, we're getting pretty low stamina-wise, so I do have to keep an eye on Drifter with those short rests. Drifter, let's move up late and do a burn. I need to keep an eye on things. Yeah, that's a good call. Probably with a move 3 I can get by someone. So let's just do the move 3, and I don't need the double persistent this turn. Maybe the move 3 with the poison isn't bad. And let's go at the end of everyone. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see what we're hitting.
Their numbers are thinning. If you can just get past this line.
Should be able to push through to the heart of the palace. Okay. So we got 4 guards. They're doing an attack and poison, but they're not moving. And I have my javelin play. So I'm going to get out of the doorway and hide there. And then let's just get one of these guys weaker. I like that animation. Throws it. In a pretty good spot for like tip of the spear. I could get 2 at a couple different angles. 1, 2. I could hit 3 of these guys with Hail of Thorns, but I'm also muddling my own guys, which isn't ideal. It has to be at range 3. None of these are range 3 unless I hide back here. It's kind of annoying. Alright, we rotate this so we can at least hit a couple guys here. Trying to continually hit the same guys I already did to get a kill, and it worked. Let's do a push here and kind of keep them falling back towards the door. And then Drifter. I like the poison on the big guy off the start, because he's going to be the hardest to get through. And we're going to move 2, that way we're only by 1 guy. We skip the rest of our movement, and we keep continuous health rolling. Got a nice triangle hex for Germinate, not that I can use it. Alright, I like the double attack and flip forms. So we're just going to do that early. Drifter. Let's see. Going real early and getting off a retaliate turn isn't terrible. But I just kind of want to hit something hard. So let's get a double attack off. And then we have the wind out for this. We take the movement there. Guards are doing their range attack. Alright. Pretty good damage, but not too scary. I mean, at some point, they were going to do something. Let's see. I still have the pincer maneuver, so I think if I get over here, I'm in a pretty good position to hit a pincer next turn somehow. And then deflecting, we consume this. We see about beating this guy to death, and let's get a poison off. That way he's probably dead next turn. We got poison on both of these. No, we're not gonna escape yet. Alright, we're gonna do the double attack here. Or maybe not. Maybe we go for a kill here. Good choice, good choice. I am gonna try and start focusing a mastery next mission. That's fine. That's fine. They did move away, which kind of stinks for the sake of this. I guess that's my own fault for going late. If I can only get one attack off, I'd rather get the more damage off. And let's get big damage on this guy. Yeah, big damage. There we go. There we go. Alright, we're to the point now we can do some burn and not feel bad about it. So let's just do Icebound. That would leave me changing forms next turn, which is good. Drifter, we just go early with your last two cards, and Banner. Banner, we short rest. Let's stay in the fight. Yeah, I'm not going to get that mastery now. Alright. So, this is a pretty good turn for the pincer. This is a pretty good turn for the pincer. So, let's go early with the pincer. Oh, interesting. I can just click continue. I kind of assumed that the game needed that time to load, but I guess not. Big damage, and we end our turn. Alright, Germinate. We get you up there. Nice of you to join the party. Attack 5 with poison, with a good flip, is dead. Drifter. We do have a loot on this attack. So I think we do this and just see about finishing it up. We hit the loot 3. We were super greedy looting with Drifter this time. And we'll escape. There's not much more for me to do. If I really wanted to, I could go grab that one loot, but I don't think it's worth it. Alright, and you... Probably nothing else for XP. Alright. Yeah, absolutely nothing. So confirm there. Skip the pull. Let me escape. No, because I need to end my turn, which is now. Germinate, we're going to hit the burn movement. Because that's an XP. We skip the rest. We skip the disarm. We do the burn top. We skip the attack. And we escape. At least we got some XP out of it. Alright, solid mission. We looked a lot stronger there. I did better balancing the team for sure. And I did a lot better job looting. Only thing is I should start focusing the masteries. The masteries are important because you get an entire perk for each mastery. So like it is possible with Germinate, you just focus the flipping and long rest.
Sounds of battle soften, the thick ice-covered walls dampening the roars. As you look back, however, a single large figure stumbles back from the fray and calls to you.
Warm bloods.
The Algox says. It's one of the brawler Algox, a fighter as tall as a horse, but one of its arms is hanging loose by its side, and the fur on its stomach is matted with blood.
All our enemies come to fall upon our heads, eh?
Your look of confusion prompts the creature to speak further.
The snow speakers
He growls and gestures outside.
invaded our home. They have killed many.
He looms over you, even from a distance.
But perhaps you can help us fight back.
Until a second ago, you didn't even realize Algox could speak your language, and yet here one stands, asking for your help. He moves his massive bulk to the side and waves a hand toward his dead comrades.
They kill us because we are ice speakers.
He taps himself on the chest as he says this, wincing slightly. The creature, despite his great size, is made somehow smaller by the gesture.
You can help us.
The offer is bizarre, certainly, but there's an advantage to be had here. Sather charged you to find a way to help stop the attacks, and it would seem one has presented itself. If you help this group defend their home from these snow speakers, you may be able to make peace with the victors. It's slow going at first. The Algox explains its situation further through labored breath. It seems this place, Snowscorn Mountain, holds religious significance to the Algox clans. Both factions want control of it, but because of the animosity, only one can occupy it. When the resident Ice Speakers returned, battle-weary from their attack on Frosthaven, the Snow Speakers seized the opportunity and launched an invasion to take back the mountain. You're not sure which side you should take in this whole thing, but you know this information is valuable, so you follow this creature further into the cave, wondering whether this is what Sather had in mind.
I like it. Alright. New mandatory quest. Alright, that means we gotta do that one. Oh, so we went straight from the offensive here. Whoa, game. I don't have another hour this morning. I wish I did. I wish I did, but I do not. I think it's saved up there, but I want to make sure it saves. And we are going to call it here. So, we'll keep picking up right from where we left off in the heart of the ice. Seems like this might be a clash between the two factions. Could be a little boss battle time. I believe it is if it's the mission, I think. But also, I'm doing a very different story than we did tabletop. I didn't scout, and I didn't interact with this guy. So, it's kind of exciting. I love that with this game, based on your characters and what you choose, it's a completely different kind of story and arc. So, having fun with this one. We're going to keep grinding. Hopefully you're taking something away from the battles and enjoying it. So, have a good rest of your day.